This whole generation was taken over by video games, and you really can't disagree with me on that. Everyone has played some sort of video game, whether it was on their phone, at an arcade, or like the majority of people at home on a system. Millions of people have PlayStations, Xboxes, or PCs nowadays that they can play video games on, and the video game community continues to keep on growing. But is that really a good thing? Are video games good for you, or your development for that matter? Well, that's what I'm going to be answering in this video, and I'm going to give you my own experience with video games ever since I was 4 years old, and why I stopped playing video games at the age of 19. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Video games have been around my whole entire life, ever since I was born in 2003. I used to have a Elite Pad and a DS when I was through the ages of 4 and 7, and I would go to Blockbuster to rent games to play, and it was a blast. My little mind would get sucked into an alternate universe, and I escaped reality for a little bit, and all I would think about when I was at school was going home and playing video games. And even at school we had video games, and during free time we would play cool math games on the computers, and it was honestly just so much fun. My parents then got me a PlayStation 2, and I played that thing constantly. I would play Star Wars Battlefront, Midnight Club, SOCOM, and Burnout 3 a lot. And when I wasn't home or when I was on a road trip with my family, I would just play games like Lego Star Wars on my DS. I was even playing my DS for one of my first traumatic events that I've ever experienced. I was sitting in my living room one night just playing Mario on my DS when I saw a huge 40-foot flame shoot over the top of my garage out the window. And I had no idea what happened, but basically somebody blew up a propane tank next to my garage, and they tried to burn it down. And after we talked to the cops and fire department, I ended up playing my DS all night to escape for a little bit. But if I wasn't playing video games at night, I was playing them during the day. And I would go over to my friend Darius and Corbin's house and play their PS3 and Xbox 360s. That's when I got introduced to Call of Duty. And man, I sure loved Call of Duty, especially Modern Warfare 2. And I even rented Modern Warfare 2 one time, but I only had a PlayStation 2. So it didn't work, and I was very sad that I couldn't play my favorite game. It was my dream to have a PlayStation 3, and for my 8th birthday, I got one. Right now, just thinking back on the feeling I got from being able to play those games, it was just indescribable. Literally one of the best feelings ever. I was just so excited. But after just a couple of days of me having a PS3, it ended up getting the red ring of death, but for PlayStations, and it stopped working altogether. So my dad got me another one, thankfully, and I started playing a lot. I became really good at Modern Warfare 2, and I was always accused of hacking by people way older than me, and I wasn't able to defend myself or talk to anybody. So I finally got a mic when I turned 9, and I made some friends. And the funny thing is I would actually make my voice deeper through the PlayStation's mic adjustments, and I always said I was 14, when in reality I was only 9 years old. Later on in 5th grade, Minecraft then finally came out on PlayStation 3, and that made me really happy because I started actually making Minecraft videos when I was like 7 when I played on my parents' old computer, but now I had it on PlayStation, so I could play split screen with my friends and online with my friends, and I just had so much fun. Then 6th grade and middle school hit, and I was playing more video games than I ever had before. I used to have a lot of friends in elementary school, but I just became weird and unpopular in middle school because I just cared so much about video games. I was playing Black Ops 2 constantly, and I ended up joining a trick-shotting clan. I then got Instagram, and I would post videos of the clips I would hit. And I just really wanted to become a professional gamer, but in all reality, I didn't really have too much of a drive in me, and I put video games just over everything. I put it over going out with friends and school and my family. And if you want to go like professional in something, you have to learn how to have an equal balance. Like I was just obsessed with video games, but I wasn't putting my all into it. I was just lazy. And honestly, I just hated myself and the way I looked. And a lot of it was because of how much I played video games. I've had at least 50 arguments with my dad because of how much I played video games, and I was grounded from them quite often and was set certain time limits that I would always try and get out of. Despite of how much my family hated video games, they then got me a PlayStation 4 for Christmas when I was like 14, and the cycle just restarted. And it's kind of weird because they weren't gonna buy me a PlayStation 4 because of how expensive it was, but the guy ended up giving the PlayStation to my parents for free. And that's just some really weird divine intervention if you ask me. But anyways, I just got the PS4, and now I was in high school with even lesser friends than I had in middle school. And I just felt so weird and unpopular, and I would always buy the clothes that the popular kids bought, and I even got a haircut that one of the popular kids had. I was in the mix with the cool kids, but I knew I was just that one weird kid in the group. and I was. People said I was annoying and always made fun of me behind my back or to my face, and nothing was changing until my sophomore year. And that's when I went on a trip with a bunch of kids from my band to Dallas. I got on the bus and there was no console to distract me anymore, just my phone that didn't work too well. So I was forced to socialize and do other things on this trip. And at the very beginning, I was actually making a lot of friends, and there was this girl that I saw that I kind of really liked. I had never really kissed a girl before, but I somehow pulled the girl that I really liked and I kissed her, and we became boyfriend and girlfriend at the end of the trip. And this boosted the absolute shit out of my confidence. I started making more friends as soon as I got back from the trip, and sophomore summer I was talking to 3 separate girls and hanging out with people and doing what kids were supposed to do. And that was playing outside, exploring, meeting new people, socializing, and not sitting in my room all day playing video games. And slowly over time I became busier and busier, and I slowed down on the video games. But I still was playing them until April of 2022. I was in college at this point, and I just decided enough was enough. So I bought a camera to pursue my passion of filmmaking, and with school, filming, and all the friends I would hang out with, I had virtually no time to play video games anymore. And I actually haven't played video games on my PlayStation in almost a full year now. I also don't play anything on my phone besides chess now, and I'm so happy that I finally have gotten to this point because I missed out on so much. Instead of making more childhood memories with my best friends Corbin and Darius and going out and exploring and riding bikes more, I was inside playing video games. And instead of learning how to socialize and how to talk to girls or just people in general and do my schoolwork, I was in my room playing video games. And instead of following my passion for filmmaking and giving attention to my girlfriends, I was inside playing video games. And instead of getting better at guitar or hockey or really anything important, I gave it all away so I can play a fucking game that did realistically nothing for me in the real world. I gave almost my whole entire childhood to play video games. And I still have a lot of good memories, of course, but I would have had so many more and so much more life experience if it just wasn't for video games. I barely remember the times I was playing the games in my childhood, and that's because I wasn't even in my own reality. My brain was in a different reality at all times. And sure, I had good times, but I'm still so angry at myself for wasting so much time. And ever since I stopped playing video games and I started following my passion, my life has gotten 100 times better. I worked for something and I have been achieving what I put my mind towards, and it's amazing. And now, filmmaking is taking up all the video game time. At this point, I think my only regret in life is literally just playing video games as much as I did. And sure, they helped my hand-eye coordination or whatever, or increased my problem-solving skills and creativity, and it was a great cool-down time and bonding experience with my friends. But you gotta ask yourself if it's really worth it. I believe video games in moderation is completely fine, but you should not be playing video games every single day. There's a whole world out there. Go explore it. And there's so many valuable skills you can learn other than knowing how to play a pointless video game that will become obsolete in a couple years. You could sit here and lie to yourself and say video games aren't as bad as I'm making them out to be, but just take it from me. I played video games my whole entire life, and no one told me to stop besides my dad. And I didn't until I was 19 years old. And sure, play video games, but play them responsibly and don't waste your life away like I did. I will never get that time back, and it kinda hurts, honestly. Like sure, I had some really amazing nights with my friends, just talking to them until like 2 a.m. playing like GTA or Minecraft or Fortnite, but now that I'm looking back at it, I would have much rather just been like getting exercise instead of just being so skinny and lazy and just out of shape. I would have much rather have been just, living my life. And if you are currently addicted to playing video games, then just try a day without them and see how it is. Tell yourself that you're strong enough to go a singular day without them and do it. And don't count days where you just weren't home all day and it was just impossible for you to play. Count the days when you were at home, bored out of your mind, and all you wanted to do was just play the game. And if you could resist those days and choose to do something productive instead, then you will get over your video game addiction a lot faster than you would ever think. And as soon as you break that everyday cycle, it won't become so much of a thing you need to do anymore. And after you're done with video games, try and stay off your phone. It's a whole nother challenge, and I'm still working on it till this day. And I hope that one day I can make a video explaining how I stopped my extreme phone usage. But for now, just stay aware, be free, and be in the present reality. Don't let some silly virtual games or a computer made by billionaires control your life. All they care about is your money, and they made that game as addictive as possible on purpose. Don't let them fool you. Get out and go live your life. And I know this wasn't like the best, logistics or like breakdown of statistics on why video games are bad for you, but you can honestly do that research on your own. There's enough of it to back it up, but I just thought I would give you my life experience and what I've experienced with video games, because I feel like that's more important than just a bunch of numbers. So I hope you change your life for the better, and I hope that all of you guys watching this video have an amazing rest of your day. And just, give the channel a little subscribe or a little like if you feel like it, that'd be really nice. But yeah, I love you guys, and I'll catch y'all later.